In Privacy Watch, Twitter announced Tuesday some of its users' data was, quote, unintentionally used for advertising purposes. According to a statement from the company, phone numbers and emails that were provided by users were used by third parties to target users with ads.
Twitter originally told users that they needed that information for security purposes. The company apologized to its users, saying the disclosure was a mistake and that the issue has since been resolved.
CNET senior producer Dan Patterson joins us now with more. So Dan, give our viewers some background. Why did Twitter ask its users to provide their email or phone number in the first place?
Another day, another data breach. This one is pretty egregious. Look, social media companies that we interact with on a daily, sometimes a minute-by-minute basis, ask us for our phone numbers for security reasons. This is actually kind of important, particularly given all of the data breaches that we have experienced in the last, say, 2 decades of using the internet. Particularly with Twitter, we saw the 2016 election happen because phishing. This is access to your account using your email address. So what sites like Twitter do is provide two-factor authentication, meaning 2 passwords, right? So if one password gets compromised, they'll text you a second password. This is security reasons. I'll repeat that. They'll text you a second password. And what's happened here is that marketers and advertisers who have these large spreadsheets of data are invited to upload those spreadsheets to sites like Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms so they can target ads. Okay, fair enough. You are supposed to use the data that users have intentionally provided to you, like tweets and your profile information, for marketing purposes. Security is supposed to be church and state in a totally different bucket. Connecting those two is a serious violation of security and privacy. And that meant that, once again, the information you provided to protect your account was used to target you with advertisements.
So how were they doing that? I mean, were they sending emails to people or texting people?
Well, every time you log into Twitter, you will see a list, your timeline of tweets. You'll also see tweets inserted in there from advertisers. That will say promoted right under there. Those tweets are targeted to you based on the profile information that you've provided or the tweets that you have actively posted. These advertisers are supposed to use only that information to target you, not the information that you provide for them to Twitter, not the advertisers, to Twitter for security reasons.
So they could be, for example, if they saw your phone number, then they might have an idea of where you live, your location, and they could use that to target you with ads.
Yeah, they could target you more precisely and have a much better idea of your identity.
So Twitter says the situation is resolved, but these third parties still have all the data. And who are these third parties?
Well, those are great questions, Vlad. And the answers to those questions remain opaque. In fact, in a statement, Twitter said, for transparency reasons, we're telling you, the public, because we don't know. Twitter said, we don't know how many people were affected. They also didn't say which advertisers had this information, what they did with that information, and what they are doing with it now.
So I never click on. Do you click on ads in Facebook or on Twitter or on Instagram? I like how Anne-Marie looks at me like a kid, like, maybe. I never do, because I just know, even if it's something that I'm really interested in, I just like refrain, because I don't like being targeted like on something where it's not, in my mind, meant for advertising. It's meant to share photos, or let me see what Dan's up to when he's on his European vacation.
I don't really, for one, don't mind being targeted.
Really?
I don't mind being
They're
targeted.
all listening to you.
No, you know who I am. You know what I like. That's fine. But I don't want information that I put out there not for those purposes to be used in that way. And that is very concerning. So is there a way to get around it? I mean, do you have to give these platforms your email and your phone number?
Well, Anne-Marie, so that separation, right, security versus targeted advertisements is really what's at play here. And there are ways to secure your account without giving Twitter your phone number. I use the Google Authenticator. This is just an app you download to your phone, and it generates codes that you put in instead of a message or a code that's sent to you via text message. There's also physical keys. A company called YubiKey makes a physical device that when it's close to your computer or even inserted into your computer generates a key. There's a third-party company called Authy, which also makes security password keys. So you do have alternatives, but these alternatives are not really clear when you're using a site like Twitter or Facebook.
That sounds a little clunky. Like, it sounds like it would work, but it's not as easy as just putting in your number.
Welcome to the new reality of security versus convenience. We will be tussling with these issues for a long time, Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
Dan Patterson, always great to have you here to provide some clarity on something.
Good to see you.
And I guess if you're an advertiser,
oh God,
you know what Anne-Marie likes.
Text me.
I like how you did it old school too. Text me, and you held up the phone. So great. All right.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Thanks so much,
Good to
Dan.
see you.